It's not going to be long because since we don't have a quorum, we're going to just kind of put it on hold for next year. But Sam says she has some announcements to make, so.
Yes, I have two announcements, and they're related. One is a urban and community forestry award hosted by and administered by Oregon Community Trees, is accepting nominations. So if there are any notable individuals or organizations or agencies that are doing particularly excellent work in the field of urban forestry or community forestry, please do submit nominations. You can go to the OregonCommunityTrees.org website and navigate to the awards page, and you can find a way to there's a link there to nominate. Alongside that, the Oregon Heritage Tree Committee is also seeking nominations for their award. There's two levels. There's like a Tree Hero Award, which is for individuals conducting excellence in heritage tree work in their communities. And then there's like a Lifetime Achievement Award, as similar but at a larger scale. So there's two award options, and you can find the award nomination information at the Oregon Travel Information Council. Go to the Heritage Tree link, and then you will find the award information there.
Okay, great.
Alternatively, folks can contact me and I can directly send them the link.
Okay. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just learned that Josh is not going to join us. He's going to hold his powder until the next meeting.
That makes sense.
And that way I'll have some additional information to share as well, because with tree code info.
See, you heard last time you were going to send us a table or an Excel file showing what other cities have for their street tree code and
yeah, I'm still preparing that.
Okay.
You know, I can talk about it, but I haven't been able to kind of categorize the similarities.
Yeah.
In a easily digestible way.
Right.
But I'm getting there.
Okay.
So
that would be useful to have.
Yeah, it will be useful to have for us, for you, for everybody.
Yeah, actually.
And a springboard to work on in 2024.
Yeah.
The other thing is, just communication wise, the Tree City USA application is due on the 15th. I've got that ready to submit with all the departments reporting in. And I would be happy to share that with, I know we're going to give a commission report on it in January after we get acknowledged. It'll be year 12 for the city. Been a few things that happened that potentially could put us in the growth category, but I don't know if they rise to that. So it may be a fairly standard reapplication for us, but I'll share that with the committee as well.
Great.
Yeah. What else happened this week? Monday night, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the amendment to the Oregon City Transportation Plan for the Oregon City Loop Trail, which is the conceptual alignment for a trail that goes all the way around the city. Parts of which have been built, parts of which have yet to be built, a lot of them, you know. And then that will go to the city commission, but we don't have a date for city commission on that yet. As far as, the Friends of Trees planting went well on December 2nd. I think they had 85 plantings. And then went back and planted about 14 or 15 more December 14th. So I think between this year and 2022, that's 200 trees that Friends of Trees would have planted, more or less.
Great.
And then they also did a couple of pruning workshops in 2023 as well.
I went to one of those.
Great, yeah. So we're still going strong with our Friends of Trees program. And we'll be renewing the contract with them for the remainder of the biennium.
Good.
Through the end of 2025, actually. So we have about, I think, $35,000 each year contributed out of the tree mitigation fund for that program. And then, Friends of Trees augments the rest through their various donors and foundations and stuff. So,
right.
To help subsidize the cost of trees to the homeowners. So that's kind of the report on the natural resources stuff. The other thing that I wanted to let you know about is the Climate Friendly and Equitable Communities project, which will run, well, it's actually in process now, but there's certain statewide rules that we still need to adopt. And that includes mandates for maximum parking, caps on maximum parking. The big decision for the city commission is going to be whether to waive minimum parking requirements citywide or only to waive the city minimum parking requirements within half a mile of frequent transit corridors and within our regional center, which is the downtown area and landfill. Significant part of the city affected by that, but if we want to treat the whole city one way, that's a choice the city commission has to make. Otherwise, we have to kind of parse out separate parts of the city and to develop a series of parking reforms for that. There's also a requirement that new parking lots have a minimum tree canopy. And by new, they mean not just brand new parking lots, but also redeveloped parking lots. So that's something else we may need to incorporate if we go that route. Minimum requirements for electric vehicle charging. At least 20% of new multifamily has to have that. They're talking about infrastructure, putting in the conduit, not actually installing the chargers, but putting the infrastructure in place. And what else is there? Bicycle parking reform as well, having expanded bicycle parking and incentives to do that. So that's all part of the CFEC, and I'll put a presentation together for that and for more detail on that in 2024.
Excellent. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Nice to see some things getting pushed through.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, the details coming out of the legislature are very, very well detailed. And you either have to amend your own code or you end up adopting a model code by default. So most cities within the metro area amending their own codes, which in some cases are fairly minor tweaks because we are a metro city and we already have certain restrictions on parking. But the city commission, I know, is probably going to want to look at that in more detail for the employment areas and the concept plan areas will potentially be affected as well. But we'll go into more detail on that as we
areas that then aren't on bus routes. That's
right. A frequent bus route, which is defined as at least 4 stops per hour.
Right.
To be
I know places that don't really have any. So, yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, as a separate project going on with TriMet, which is the Forward Together project to try to expand shuttles and also expand line 33. and bring that, up Lynn Avenue.
Right.
And, but not to Holcomb, I don't think. So at least make Lynn Avenue a frequent route, so.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. I guess we don't have a quorum, so we can't move things by
Right.
vote, but we would just bring the same agenda back in January. And at that point, I hope we will have Doug Neely as well as you, Sam, reappointed, and whoever else we can get on the committee. So please try to get the word out if you can.
I've been pushing it for years. I just don't know.
Right.
Nobody's listening to me, so.
Okay.
Wrong people.
I had a couple questions.
Sure.
So I went to an OCT meeting on the 2nd of December, and there's an announcement from ODF Urban Forestry that in 2024 March is when we would expect an opportunity to apply for any sort of IRA funding in regards to urban forestry. So if we had project ideas, including like tree inventory, tree code update, you know, all sorts of stuff, are, as long as they can meet the requirements of the funding, which is to meet, to serve underserved communities and constituents in that regard. And in many ways, that CGES tool I shared with you guys last time, it's a federal government web map that identifies census blocks that meet certain criteria. And to be honest, much of Oregon City does not trigger any of those underserved communities. But one caveat is that what the census does not measure are houseless people or homeless people. So if we can, we can try to frame projects around assisting those demographics, as well as others in our community that may or may not meet the, trigger those those specific populations as far as the CGIS tool goes. So it's just a tool to help identify particular locations within a community. But if your community is not, like Portland has like a good handful of them.
Right? Yeah.
But Oregon City does not have any. But as long as we can make the argument that, even if we don't trigger any, identified communities as far as the CGIS tool goes, we know our community. So we should be able to say like this neighborhood has been underserved in tree canopy due to these factors. And there's a number of other ways to measure that. So I'm just putting it out there that March 2024, to get your proposals polished and ready to go, because that's when they'll be opening up the application and do a call for proposals. And by that point, you should already have a good draft.
Yeah, okay, good to know. Yeah, thank you. I know previous housing needs analyses that we've done, we were right on the cusp of being a rent burdened community. Like right in the middle of the range, and like 1 or 2% off to make this list that that the state had. I don't know where we are right now. We just got our estimates for population from Portland State, and we're at, what are we at? I'm going to share this with you somewhere. See, there it is. 37,471. So we haven't gained any population realistically, but we've since over the last 3 years. We were up during COVID, and then after COVID, we went down. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't
Well,
rent.
just an announcement for that.
yeah, thanks. We'll have to look at that in more detail.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
So we will
You want
postpone the agenda for a month, and I will call this meeting adjourned.
Yeah, I wish you all a very, very happy holiday.
You too.
You too.
See you soon, if not sooner.
I have a cat in the background.